So, Grammy went off on her grand book signing tour, and Lena and I got to practice my new inductions. I even made good progress through the book on the history of trance, taking a leaf from Grammy's book in the process. At work, during my break, I found a nearby park bench and sat and read, like she had. Cigarette in one hand, book in the other. It was a lot to take in, but fascinating. And Tuesday evening, we got a call from Lena's mom proudly informing us that Grammy had regressed her dad and discovered that he had been a spy in his past life, back in the 18th century. An agent of the crown, she called him. Of course, Lena was thrilled, and her mom was positively ecstatic. But remember that patience issue I have? Well, it soon kicked in. By Thursday evening, I was getting antsy. I wanted more. And I had my revised arrangement with Laura nagging at me as well. And Lena was dropping so easily. Every time, it was, I don't know. I guess I felt like I wanted a challenge. You know? Oh yeah. Overambitious much? So I had just taken Lena under with a hand drop induction. I have her focus on my hand as I gently lower it as she drops with it. And before bringing her back out, I grab my phone. Hi, Laura. So on Saturday afternoon, me and Lena went over to Laura's apartment for some extracurricular activities.
So,
Laura said brightly.
you wanted me to teach you some hypnotic tricks?
Yeah. I mean, you know?
Well, I don't know if I should. Do you think your grandmother would approve?
Would it make any difference if she didn't? I replied smoothly. Laura chuckled.
Oh dear, you know me too well.
She paused thoughtfully for a moment.
Okay, what can I show you?
She mused.
Oh, I know.
She took Lena's hand gently.
Poor Lena.
She began, her tone soft and full of mock sympathy.
I expect Zoe's been hypnotizing you a lot, hasn't she?
Lena nodded.
So you're quite familiar with the feeling of being in trance, aren't you?
Another nod, although I noticed that she was deliberately trying not to look into Laura's eyes.
And it's a wonderful feeling, isn't it?
This time her nod was a little slower.
Of course it is. Just to let go and relax and sleep.
Laura snapped her fingers, and Lena dropped right into a trance. I gasped. That was incredible. Laura grinned. How did you do that? I stammered.
You were watching.
She said calmly.
You tell me.
I took a moment. Okay, I began, trying to recall exactly what I had just witnessed. So, you took her hand,
Yes.
and you changed your speech pattern. Slower, more rhythmic.
Yes.
I was out. And she went into a trance. I shrugged.
Not bad.
She noted.
Yes. I changed my speech pattern. I also try to lower my tone slightly, not always successfully. Why do I want to do that?
Because it's kind of soothing, I offered.
Well, perhaps, but no.
She replied.
I do a lot of conversational inductions, and I want to make my trance voice distinctly different from my normal speaking voice.
Oh, okay.
It would be rather inconvenient, not to mention annoying, if people dropped into a trance in the middle of a conversation. I would advise you to do the same with Lena whilst you're practicing. Anything else?
I thought back to what she had said. You asked if she was familiar with the feeling of being in trance, I noted.
Very good. That brings the memory of that experience to the forefront of her mind. Then all it takes is a gentle push.
And she goes under.
Exactly.
Wow. Then I suddenly realized that Lena was still deep in a trance. Do you think we ought to bring her out now? I asked.
Yes,
Laura sighed.
but first,
She took Lena's hand again.
Lena, I think you're probably going to be going into trance quite a bit this afternoon, but that's okay. You'll find it quite lovely, and by the time you leave, you will feel completely wonderful.
Then she brought her back.
Oh, God.
Lena sighed. She looked at Laura nervously.
You're scary. You know that.
Just a little trance, Lena.
Laura replied with a warm grin.
You don't really mind, do you?
No,
She blushed.
it's just, you know,
I know.
Laura replied reassuringly.
could I please have a cigarette?
Lena sighed.
Of course.
Laura replied.
Here, have one of mine.
She offered us both cigarettes, then took one herself. Is it just me, or are you smoking a lot more right now? I noted as she lit up and exhaled luxuriously.
Yes.
She sighed.
I think it's exposure to your mother. God, she's even worse than I used to be.
I grinned. Yeah, I think she's kind of making up for lost time. You know? Lena took a long, slow puff.
Laura, could you at least warn me next time you put me under?
I'm sorry, darling.
Laura apologized.
Yes. Well, be warned now. I will be hypnotizing you. Soon. That's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Once we had finished our cigarettes, Laura took a moment to consider.
Okay, what else can I show you?
I was just about to ask her about the hyperfocus thing when she suddenly decided.
Oh, yes.
She stood up and motioned for Lena to do the same. Then, face to face, she said,
Okay, Lena, this will be a bit different, but I am going to hypnotize you. I'm just not going to say a word.
Lena gasped, and I was kind of surprised. But I quickly realized that I would be expected to pay careful attention to this.
All you have to do
Laura continued.
is just look into my eyes. Is that okay?
Lena nodded, then kind of nervously raised her eyes to meet Laura's gaze. I know from personal experience how hypnotic Laura's eyes could be, but without saying a word? Okay, so I could see the physical difference between them. Lena was wound tight as a drum, whereas Laura was like totally calm. They held each other's gaze, and slowly Lena's breathing began to even out. Then Laura gently began to do that thing where she blinks really slowly. And pretty soon I could see Lena's eyes beginning to follow. Then the blinks got even slower and Lena's posture began to soften. Her shoulders dropped, and then, after Laura's slowest blink, accompanied by a gentle sigh, Lena's eyes remained shut. Her head dropped forward, and she was completely under. Laura stepped forward and gently guided Lena back onto the couch, where she folded into a deep sleep. Holy shit! I gasped in complete astonishment.
Okay.
Laura said, calmly retaking her seat beside me.
What did I just do?
You just freaking hypnotized her without saying a damn word. Okay. I did not say that, but I sure thought it. Instead, I took a moment and reviewed what I had noticed. So, at first, Lena was completely overwhelmed. I began, but you were just totally calm and you waited for her to ease down.
Yes?
Then you started to do that slow blink thing, and she began to follow.
Yes?
And with that last blink, you kind of sighed, and she was under.
Good.
She nodded.
Okay. So there's quite a lot to unpack with this one.
She paused.
And I hope you realise I'm giving away some of my best tricks here.
I nodded with a grin.
Firstly, before I even started, I told Lena that I was going to hypnotise her. That's called priming. I'm actually telling her subconscious what's happening.
Oh, wow.
Then I kind of lead by example, keeping myself in a calm state until she catches up. Then yes, the slow blink. Once she starts to follow, that tells me her subconscious is responding and she's mine. So I'm pacing and leading, and when she's ready, her subconscious does the rest.
Okay, I get it, I said.
But above all else comes intention.
She added.
She has to understand and accept that my intention is to hypnotize her.
I nodded carefully. This was a lot to take in. Then Laura sighed.
You know, I think I know what your problem is.
Really? I didn't realize I had one. But
You're hypnotizing Lena every day, yes?
yeah,
Taking her into a trance and then bringing her back out?
yes, she huffed.
Well, that's boring.
Oh, well, yeah, kind of, I guess, I replied, kind of uncertainly.
Of course, I appreciate that Catherine is trying to build up your confidence and all that. But still,
She looked at me earnestly.
can I offer you some advice?
She asked. Sure.
Trust me, Zoe. The absolute best way to learn is to have fun with it.
Seriously?
Oh, yes. You'd be amazed what the subconscious can do. With a little help.
Like what?
Well, you know.
She gave me a salacious grin. Oh. Yeah. That? Yeah. What else? Of course we had Lena right there, already in a trance. So,
First of all,
Laura said seriously,
I will not have anyone behaving like a chicken or exposing themselves in public or anything like that. I want my subjects to enjoy themselves, so anything truly embarrassing is a hard no.
okay, yeah,
That said,
she continued.
if you ever get the chance to be a cat, I heartily recommend it.
Everybody wants to be a cat, I quipped. Laura giggled and gave me an appreciative kiss on the cheek. Then she got to play with her new toy. First, she gave her the suggestion that whenever she snapped her fingers and said, sleep, Lena would instantly fall back into a trance. Then she brought Lena out with the suggestion that the number 7 had vanished from her mind. It was weird watching her try to figure out how come she had 11 fingers all of a sudden. Then back into trance, and this time she got creative.
And in a moment, when you awaken, you are going to find that the only thing you can say is I love being hypnotized. And every time you hear yourself say those words, you will experience a little rush of pure pleasure.
Then she came back and Laura asked,
How do you feel, darling?
I love being hypnotized.
She looked a little confused, then kind of bit her lower lip a little as the wave of pleasure hit.
Are you sure you're all right? Would you like some water?
I love being hypnotized.
Then she gasped as the wave got stronger. Laura was grinning in delight.
I'm sorry. Was that yes?
Lena nodded frantically.
I love being hypnotized.
Then she started wriggling with sheer pleasure, so Laura threw in one more.
So, do you love being hypnotized?
Lena could barely gasp
I love being hypnotized.
before the next wave hit. But then Laura snapped her fingers and took her back under, like the off switch. I was completely blown away. This was fantastic. I guess she loves being hypnotized. I grinned.
Really? Whatever gave you that impression?
Laura chuckled. Lena had snapped back under so fast. Mid-gasp, and now she was just blissfully asleep again. It was totally incredible. I wanted to be able to do that. Laura also seemed to be enjoying herself.
Oh, I know. This is a fun party piece.
She turned to Lena, taking her hand gently.
Lena, in a moment, when you awaken, you will believe that you are the world's greatest hypnotist and you will want to demonstrate your amazing skills on Zoe, but when you snap your fingers, you will fall back into a deep trance.
Then she brought her out, and Lena turned to me, completely serious and astoundingly confident.
So tell me, have you ever been hypnotized before?
She asked. A couple of times, I replied, glancing at Laura, who was watching in fascination.
Very good.
She noted.
So, I'd like you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and that's right, let it out slowly, and just allow yourself to focus completely on the sound of my voice, just the sound of my voice.
Zoe, come back to me, Zoe.
Huh?
There you are. Good.
I blinked a couple of times, then noticed Lena, deep in trance, beside me. What? What happened?
It seems we've discovered a secret talent in our Lena.
Laura grinned. Wait, what? Did I go under?
Oh, yes.
She beamed. But
It seems that Lena has picked up a few tricks herself.
she noted.
And I must say, her voice is positively beautiful.
I was totally astonished. Wait, I had a thought. Was this just because she's my partner? Like you said she'd drop for me? So? Laura didn't even have to think about it.
Well, there is an element of that, yes. But her technique was excellent. And her delivery, Zoe, trust me, she's good at this.
Oh, wow. I guess we both needed a little time to process, so by unspoken agreement, the games were over. Laura made sure she cleared out all her suggestions, then woke Lena fully.
How are you feeling, darling?
She asked.
Great!
Lena replied with a grin. She turned to me.
Did you learn much, baby?
Oh, yeah, I replied emphatically. I learned a lot,
I'm afraid we had a little fun with you.
Laura said carefully.
How much do you remember?
Lena thought a moment.
I remember the numbers thing.
She said thoughtfully.
That was confusing. The rest is kind of fuzzy, you know?
Laura and I shared a quick glance. She didn't remember? Then Lena offered her cigarettes, and we each took one. After lighting up, Lena exhaled with a sigh and announced.
I love being hypnotized.
When she became aware of the looks that Laura and I gave her, she added defensively,
What? I do. It's so relaxing.
Laura closed her eyes and took a long, slow puff, drawing deep and exhaling with a sigh.
Well,
She said,
I think that's enough fun for one day. Shall we go out and grab something to eat?
So once we'd finished our cigarettes, we got up to go. But on the way out, Laura paused by the bookcase.
Before I forget.
She said. She picked up a pocket watch. Not the pocket watch, just a pocket watch. Then she turned to me.
I spoke with Catherine before she went off on her book tour.
She continued.
And on the basis of that conversation, I think you deserve this.
She took on a formal tone and declared,
Zoe Sheridan Blackwood. It is my honour to present you with your official badge of office, with the understanding that this may be upgraded should you fulfill the terms of our agreement.
She handed my prize to me, and I took it reverently. Thank you, Laura, I replied. And I'm definitely getting that upgrade. Then, as Lena gave me a celebratory kiss, Laura took down another pocket watch and turned to Lena.
Lena Blackwood Sheridan,
She said formally.
This badge of office is yours.
Lena was astonished and bewildered.
What?
Babe, you totally hypnotized me. I beamed.
I did.
She blinked.
When?
So, full disclosure. Over lunch, Laura filled in the blanks on what had happened. That is from her perspective. Lena began her induction on me, and Laura was astonished at how smooth and confident she was. Not only that, but her voice was, well, hypnotic. She had a rich, soothing quality, and her pacing was excellent. So apparently, I began to drop really quickly, and Laura, completely fascinated, was just waiting for her to snap her fingers and drop herself. And she did. But by then, I was completely way gone. Yes, she admitted. The thought had occurred to her to have a little more fun with me this time, but she was so gobsmacked. Yeah, I have no idea what that means, that she brought me right back out to share her amazement. Lena was still having real difficulty processing any of this. I literally lost count of how many times she asked incredulously,
I hypnotized you?
not only that, but I had to coax her to let me take care of her pocket watch, or she would have struggled with her meal. She was holding on to it so tight.
But seriously, Lena, darling, I've seen this done many times, but never so successfully.
Laura told her.
You were amazing.
By the time we got home, I could tell it was driving her nuts, not being able to remember it. So I bravely took one for the team and said, "Don't worry about it. Sugar." The red mist descended, and suddenly she had more important things in mind. Oh, the sacrifices we make in the name of love.